I was curious as to your thoughts on military intervention in the Middle East, particularly with Yemen right now. The United States has been involved in at least supporting a Saudi-led coalition that is blocking ports in Yemen and also providing weapons to the Saudi-led coalition fighting the Houthi rebels. And so I was wondering, do you support the move to block ports? Because frankly, it's a humanitarian crisis, and thousands of lives are put in jeopardy right now due to a growing cholera epidemic, and also due to bombing, the civilian deaths due to bombing as well. So would you agree that it would be in our democratic interest to put pressure on members of Congress and in the Senate especially to kind of act in naming this a humanitarian crisis and hopefully halting our support of such a blockade?
Yeah, so I think naming it a humanitarian crisis is one thing. I think military intervention is another, and I think that we have to be really careful. Right now, we as a country are very stretched in the way that we deploy our forces, and as a sibling of a veteran and a brother who's in the armed services, I'm a strong proponent of us continuing to be peacekeepers around the world and maintain global security and use appropriate measures to deal with issues as they come, like in Yemen or Syria. And I believe we should have done more in Syria and can do more in Yemen. Specifically, though, I think it is a big deal to drop a bomb or to provoke war. And I think we obviously are seeing with our current leader a certain disposition that, unfortunately, I'm framing this in the most kind way possible, but a disposition that obviously would rather provoke than to talk reasonably about coming to a peace resolution. So I always talk about exhausting diplomatic means, and I also think that one of the things that has bothered me to no end and bothers my brother to no end is that look at our roads, look at our bridges, look at our sidewalks, look at our infrastructure, look at our schools, look at our hospitals. Like, can we please invest in this country? And can we please actually call a spade a spade? If Yemen is a humanitarian crisis, let's call it a humanitarian crisis. Let's deploy, the right amount of diplomacy as well as potentially intervention. But let's do it in a way that focuses on our security as a country, our prosperity as a country, and let's do it in a way that makes the rest of the world proud. So that's the way that I look at it. And when we're not doing that, when we're doing it in a way that's fear-based, or that is like literally just a ploy to get people who would get up in arms to mobilize the base, then we are doing everything wrong. And that's unfortunately what money in politics does. That's what the manipulation from, unfortunately, the other side is doing. And anyway, I, as someone who has lived, like I said, I lived in Uganda for a little bit, I just will say that we're so fortunate to have the peace and security here, and we can't see that go away. And we can't see that go away because we've made enemies around the world. And so it's that careful balance of maintaining very fragile global balance and us continuing to stay the global peacekeepers that we can, while not only focusing on that, making sure our own people prosper so that we can actually be the beacon of freedom and human rights right here in America. So that's what I would say about that.